What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes, and today we're ready to rip out this 5-ton, 20-year-old R22 system and give this home a whisper-quiet, inverter-driven heat pump beast that talks to a Tesla battery. Let's go! All right, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are in the 5 towns of Nassau County on Long Island, doing things a little differently today because of the inclement weather. We have a 10 by 10 tent set up outside at the outdoor condensing unit. Here's our old Rheem 5-ton 13-seer condensing unit with a manufacturer date of 2012. We installed this condensing unit as a direct replacement after Hurricane Sandy. Really, wow. I don't even want to talk about how crazy it was after the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. We met an incredible amount of people. Some lost a lot, and some lost all of their personal possessions. Wow. Okay, let's get the show on the road. We're going to be decommissioning this system right now. I got my Vevor recovery machine set up. I got a fresh recovery tank that's utilized for R22. I got my scale. I got a power source. Yeah, we're gonna use this power source right here. There's a battery source right here. If you got no power in the job site, check this bad boy out. I got videos of using this battery storage device for 3 hours using a rigid threading machine. And it was still at 60% battery capacity remaining. Pretty epic. So we're gonna use the battery backup. We're gonna use the Vevor recovery machine. We're gonna pump down the refrigerant. I'm gonna show you step by step how to decommission the system. Let's go. Now, I don't know about you, I like to keep my hands clean. And when I do, I'm using these orange gloves. You get these from Shuby. They're awesome. And I can usually go all day if I'm on an install, only going through a pair or two. So they don't tear easy. They're kind of thick. I think they're 9 ml, and they're great. I think the Orange Beast they're called. Pretty good. Get them at Shuby. Not a sponsor of the channel, unfortunately, but maybe one day they will be. I'm gonna set up my recovery tank, recovery scale. Sorry, not it's a refrigerant scale. Got that on. Got that on. Let's set that up on a nice flat surface right there. All right, got my mat right here. I'm gonna start by pulling the straighter core. You know what, these Rheems, they put the valve right there. They love making your life hard. They really do. But they say relax, it's a Rheem, right? You know what I'm talking about. Look, it's right up against the thing. How are you gonna get anything out of there? Let's pull out the straighter core. There you go. Let's see if it's there. Of course not. Of course not. But it's gone now. Just keeping it real. You know, get that stuck straighter core there. You know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So let's hook up one there. Let's get one on our recovery machine. Let's see if it'll stay there. Yeah. I can already see the comments. Mikey Pipes, you shouldn't be doing this in the rain. You're right. You're 100% correct. I agree. take one hose, set up to our tank, loosely fitted of course right now. Let's get the other hose right there. Okay, make sure that's nice and tight there. Okay, now I'm gonna purge out the, let's recover fast. Bingo. All right, we'll turn that on next. Okay, purging out the air out of the hoses and the recovery machine. There we go. Beautiful. All right, let's turn on our battery. All right. Beautiful. We're at 67%. Let's fire up. And let's recover some refrigerant. I'm sorry, I forgot to zero it out. Let's zero it out real quick. All right. Let's take a look at our battery power source. We're using 559 watts of power right now. And at the current rate, we'll be out of power in 2 hours. Our battery power source is at 67% right now. By the way, you can hook this up to solar panels as an option and have infinite power. You know, as long as you don't exceed the output of the machine, you're good to go. You can got some USB-A and USB-C charging ports right here. We have DC voltage, you know, the car cigarette lighter connection. Beautiful. You even have a light as well. All right, we're at 0.5 pounds. I'm pretty sure we're going to be around probably 11 to 15 pounds of total charge of R22 here. So it is 8:21. Catch you in a few minutes. All right, while I'm recovering the charge, I'm going to check our voltage. Make sure we have no current here. And L1, L2, I got 0. Let's go to ground to one of the lines of power. Also nothing, and ground to another line of power. Also nothing. So now I am safe to start pulling the line voltage off the contactor. The whip looks kind of solid. Nothing wrong with it. I'm probably going to reuse the whip. Yeah, whip looks pretty solid. So we're just going to pull the L1, L2, the 2 lines of power from the contactor, and remove our ground, and remove the locking nut off of the liquid tight 90 right there. And we're going to save that, put that on our new unit. Obviously, we're going to clean this up a little bit here and clean up our line set, put them behind covers as well. No filter dryer necessary. Hook that right up. Hey! Came out this time. I'm gonna switch sides for a minute. Just want to see if it's a little bit faster recovering from the liquid side. Here, almost 6.5 pounds recovered from the system. All right, we are at 0. There's really nothing coming out of there, so I'm going to close this off. I don't think we've ever used the Vevor recovery machine before, so I don't know if it's going to beep at us saying it's done. You don't think so? This is gonna keep going, huh? Yeah, and we are in negative territory there, so let's close this valve and let's turn off the tank. Let's go to purge and let's purge out the air. Really nothing coming out of here. We purged and we recovered a total of 8 pounds. Not too shabby. Listen, for a cheap recovery machine that's, I think, like 250 bucks. What do you expect? You think the thing's gonna beep at you when it's done? No. So, tough tools, half the price, and as long as they deliver to you when you order it, unlike the cotton candy machine that I ordered, it took 3 weeks to get, not too shabby. And real quick, let's review the numbers. 52%. We were recovering for 35 minutes. We only went down to 52% from 67. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, I used my tubing cutter and cut the line set, the 7/8 and the 3/8. I'm not worried about anything dripping down into it because water's dripping down. I'm good with that. And after we used a pipe wiper to remove all the oils from the line set, we should be good to go. I cut back my copper, and I'm going to call my scrap guy, have him come get the outdoor condensing unit from us now that all the refrigerant's recovered. And I brought over, with the help of Daniel, the 5-ton Mikey pipes by ACiQ. Their side discharge Extreme Plus 5-ton side discharge heat pump inverter. The thing is beautiful. I'm blown away. I am. And for many years, we've installed as our premium top tier brand, the Bosch IDS 2.0, followed by the 2.1 connected, and even more recently, the ultra cold climate outdoor heat pump inverters. I got put on to the ACiQ Extreme and the Extreme Plus early in January of 2025, and I gotta say, I'm blown away. I really am blown away. And if you need a cost-effective, premium featured piece of equipment, you gotta talk to the folks over at ACiQ. You really have to. And what's amazing about this, and I really want to highlight this, the ability to private label your equipment makes perfect sense for contractors. We can deliver premium features at a budget price, and it's awesome for rebranding opportunity. Imagine, you will be servicing this equipment for life, right? Because not like there's a phone number on here to call, right? Your name is on it. And right there, my name is on it. And if you couple this with an extended labor warranty, for example, from AIG or JB Warranties, up to 5 or 10 years of coverage is available at a nominal price. You can't go wrong. And the best part is, this bad boy right here, small footprint, communicating. Let's say they still want to use their Nest or their Sensi thermostat, or even their Honeywell 9000 or T10, for example. You can still communicate from the indoor air handler to the outdoor condensing unit with just 2 wires, and still utilize the R, W, Y, G, and OB wires to your existing thermostat. You can still keep that thermostat, or you can use the thermostat that they offer. Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi models are available. This thing is awesome, and it's a beautiful color. Look at that. And look how narrow it is in depth. Amazing. Can't go wrong. Now, let me rephrase that. Knock on wood. I'm not going to say you can't go wrong. And I'm going to keep it real. Our second install, the main board and the air handler died the next day. But I picked up the phone, I called the folks over at ACiQ, and they overnighted me a new control board the next day. Yes, it's annoying, and anything man-made is subject to failure, but a product is only as good as the manufacturer that's behind it. So if you install a piece of equipment and you can't get them on the phone, what good is that? You know, I used to be a Carrier fad for many years, and then a Bryant factory authorized dealer for many years. But when I pick up the phone and I gotta wait for a phone call the next day, that's unacceptable. That's no bueno. And that's why Pipe Doctor now only installs Mikey pipes by ACiQ and the Bosch IDS series of heat pump inverters. Because inverter is the secret of the future, ladies and gentlemen. Because you know everyone's getting those solar panels on the roof, just like this guy does. He even got the Tesla batteries. With an inverter, we're not just pedal to the metal as soon as we put the ignition, the key in the ignition, right? it slowly ramps up. It's going to be saving those batteries life expectancy. You're not going to kill those batteries and trip any circuits. Inverter technology, that's the way to go. All right, let's get rid of this jalopy. Oh. Oh, I actually lost my microphone. I really did. What did you think? One of the other guys was going to help me? I'm going to unmount the outdoor unit from the crate. Now, what's going to suck is that one bolt right there. You're going to need a 13 millimeter socket to get that out. You have to do it the old-fashioned way. The other ones, you're clear, and you're not going to need, you know, a short little ratcheting thing. A ratcheting thing. Yeah. So now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck. See that? Looks like I gotta take this grill off. I didn't want to take the grill off, but looks like I gotta take it off. Question for you guys. When you're swapping out equipment, you keep a garbage box or bag nearby. That way you don't have to litter the whole area with screws and cut up wire. Do you? I do. I like to use a box, scrap box. This box was resting right there. Perfect. Now, if I can only find the one screw that I lost. See, there's 4 screws. I only got 3, and it's somewhere here. I gotta find it. Oh, man, keeping it real. All right, for the wall mount bracket, I'm using the RectorSeal wall mount bracket for mini split condensing units. I got a center mark there and a center mark there. And I'm gonna take this and mount it to the wall right there. Now I got 41 inches that are available from my left side to my right side right there. 41 inches of roughly, right? I have 41 inches from right here to right there. That's perfect. Plenty of clearance. We're gonna take this wall mount bracket piece, we're gonna bolt it to the wall right there. Let's get this bad boy mounted on the wall. The battery wants to die as I'm doing the lag bolts. Oh, annoying. All right, the wall mounted bracket is secure with 6 included lag bolts that come with the RectorSeal. I think this is the WBB 300. Yeah, 300, because it supports up to 300 pounds. Mounted perfectly there. Once I put the weight of the condensing unit on here, we're gonna level it out with those little thingies right there. You know, those things right there. There you go. Sorry, didn't mean to break your neck as you twisted your neck to meet the orientation of the screen. My apologies. I'm going to get Daniel to give me a hand, and we're going to put this on those little insulating vibration pads, 2 on each side, and bolt her down. And then I'm going to start working on the line set once we pipe wipe it. People like to be fed. I'll give you that, sir. dokie. Thank you, Daniel. I got one right there. None. You got none? I got one right there. Here. Here's a bolt. What's the matter? Oh, want me to lift it up for you while you find it? Ah. Oh. Daniel.
Yeah. You could.
Hold on. If we're gonna feed the people some sustenance, I'm gonna feed them. Look at all up in there. Oh. I'm gonna let you fix that. Oh, is it there?
There, it's just super.
Yeah, okay. Wow. This thing looks tits. Look at that. It's like it's meant to be. Wow. And now with this inverter, when the power's out and the air conditioning or the heat pump comes on, there's gonna be no strain on those batteries. Epic! Wow. And last but not least, oh motherfucker, you. I need to get that screw. That screw right there. You see that screw? I need that screw. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna get that screw. Woo! Daniel, I'm gonna give you a raise. Would you like a raise?
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a raise. Come on. There you go. Gonna make sure you flare it right. Yeah, baby. That's a beautiful flare. Oh, I'm not gonna pretend. I don't know how to bend for shit. Take two. Take three. Just keeping it real. You know, one thing about this NAVAC mini tubing cutter, it doesn't have that little groove on it, on the cutting, opposite the cutting wheel, where you could cut off a flare. You guys know what that groove is for, right? On your tubing cutter, right? You know the groove that's not on this one? It's so you can cut off just the flare that you did. So this is now the third? No, this is the fourth. Because I already cut it shorter. And then I cut that. And then I cut this. And then we have the mistake on the floor. You see, I'm only human. I'm not no Superman. I did it. I did it. All right, let me deburr the pipe, get some scratchy paper, cut this back, and put a 7/8 by 3/4 zoom lock coupling right there. All right, I got the 3/4 line set, insulated, ran to right there. I got my 7/8 cleaned. I got the reducing coupling there. I did the communicating wire next because I need to get the pipe wiper from the shop, and I want to get this cover back on before I head out back to the shop in case it rains. So I'm going to get the pipe wiper from the shop. We're going to connect the 3/8, make that up. That's not tight, by the way. We're going to make up the 3/8, and then we're going to use the pipe wiper to flush out the line of all the R22 oils. And hopefully we're sitting down at Mocha by 1:30. In case you're wondering, Mocha is a Asian fusion restaurant around the corner from our shop. And typically when we finish an installation, we're usually done by 12, 1, 2 o'clock. And I treat the guys for lunch. Sit down, we have some nice sushi, some fried rice, some nourishment. And sometimes we get pizza afterwards because it's not enough. All right, I got a lot accomplished. It's 11:35 in the morning, by the way. I got a lot accomplished. Right now, we're going to be wiping the interior of the copper refrigeration line set. Now, we're using the pipe wiper. Let me show you what we're working with here. It comes in this little box, Supco. There was another brand, I forgot who made it, but I got this from True Tech Tools. And you need to do this when you are swapping a system out and changing from one refrigeration type to another. So for example, here we're going from R22 to R454B. That's how old the system was, right? It totally skipped over 410A. But because we're switching from R22 and the type of oil that R22 uses, the oil is different with R454B and R32 and R410A. You can use this, you don't have to use a pipe wiper system or flush a line set when you're going from 410A to R32 or an other A2L refrigerant. But because we're going from R22 to an A2L refrigerant, the oil is different. And if we don't thoroughly clean out the line set, ideally replace the line set, but if we don't thoroughly clean the line set, we're going to get some of that oil residue to mix in with the oil that's in the existing system. That's going to mess up the compressor, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to use a pipe wiper system. I'm going to get the nitrogen from the truck, and we're going to shoot these little things called piglets. And here's what they are. They look like just black plugs, right? And we're going to inject these little piglets through our 7/8 and our 3/8 line all the way up to the other side of the house in the attic. Pretty epic, and you're going to see what these piglets look like when we take it out. All right, so I have my nitrogen tank hooked up. I'm at 400 PSI. As soon as Daniel gives me a call, I'm going to open up this valve, and that piglet, this right here, is going to shoot into this 7/8 line and run about 100 feet to the other side of the house.
Hi, you're good.
You ready? All right, here comes the first one.
I think give it more pressure.
500 PSI.
It's close.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So let me do another one. How does it look?
Like bone dry.
Oh, okay. So let's do one more. And then we will do the... We'll do one more, and then we'll do the 3/8.
Okay.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
You want to get a little video action going on up there?
Sure.
You know, the people are hungry. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Here we go. 500 psi. Got it?
No, not yet. No. Yeah. Got it. That was loud.
I cracked it up to almost 600 psi there.
Yeah. There.
All right, I am going to put my connector on the
3/8. Okay.
and then we'll do a wipe of the 3/8.
Okay.
Let me just get the adapter PC.
The ductwork came out nice.
Yeah? Okay, I can't wait to see it.
So much better than how it was before.
Excellent. Okay, there's a little adapter piece I gotta put on here. Hold on. 3/8. Okay. A little hungry. See if I can feed them. Probably not. Whatever. They'll survive.
They're getting this angle.
What?
They'll get this angle.
Don't get this angle?
No, they will get this angle of it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh my god. Ow. Let's try right there. Let's put this in there. Shove that in there like that. Okay. Get this bad boy on there. All right. Almost. Get this on there. Okay, ready?
Ready. Yeah. Got it.
Dirty?
Wow, it was filled with dust.
Filled with dust?
Yeah, dust.
No oil?
No oil, like actual dust.
Hey, let me run the Mikron through it some more.
Wow, a whole cloud.
All right, let me know when it's clear.
Okay.
Still coming out clear?
No, it's coming out clear now.
Okay, all right.
That was weird.
Work on the 3/8 out here, connect that, and connect it out, a lot of the good stuff out here.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Right there. Yep. Sure beats brazen. Someone misplaced the other NAVA C2 flaring tool that we have. So now I gotta go old school. Really old school. Not too shabby. Let's throw a little 90 on there. Perfect. Let me go connect this. All right. 23 after 12 here. Still 22nd of May. It's time for vacuuming. Get a little over here. got 70 minutes left. Plenty of time. All right. 12:35. All right, let me explain to you who don't know what's going on. Right now, we are vacuuming down the system. We're essentially vacuuming down the evaporator coil, the suction, and the liquid line. We're removing all of the atmosphere, all the non-condensables, but most importantly, moisture. You know, there's moisture in those lines. It's been open for the atmosphere for a few hours during the installation process, right? So right now we're using a vacuum. I'm using the field piece. This is the VP67. This is a dual stage 6 CFM vacuum pump. I like the field piece vacuum pump because I can change the oil on the fly. Just like that. I'm going to show you right now because I haven't changed it all season. Let's see if I have any oil here. Yep, I got a full thing of oil right there. And I got an empty oil container here. Now check this out, guys. We're going to change the oil on the fly. I'm going to open up that valve right there. We're dumping the oil into that container right there. Wow, I could never even use that one. Crazy, right? There you go. It's just empty. Let's close that. Let's dump the oil into it. There you go. Change that on the fly. Can your vacuum pump do that? Yeah, she's a little dirty. Oh yeah, she's a lot dirty actually. Woo, that's dirty. So we are at 1200 and dropping microns. We're at 1160, 50, 40. We'll dispose of the oil according to EPA and local ordinance. Let's close our ballast. And now the vacuum pump is now going into a deep vacuum through that oil. Take a look at what we're working with. 956, 930, 20, 10. Now when we're vacuuming down, we want to have a nice deep system that's free of non-condensables and dry. Industry standard is 500 microns, but a pipe doctor, we try to get into like the 40s and 30s. Now, granted, it's not going to stay that way because as soon as I close those valves, we're going to shoot up. But utilizing the ACiQ tools, the BlueVac Plus Pro micron gauge, look at that, 700 microns. And it's been 4 minutes. It's been 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. All right. It's been 10 minutes. Let's see what happens when I close. Try to close this valve, which not being that cooperative. It looks like we need to go. 10 minutes is not enough. We need to vacuum down some more. I'm looking for this to actually start settling down and dropping, but it looks like it's still going up, which is okay. We only had this vacuum pump on for 10 minutes, so we're at 1800 and steadily climbing. Let's open up our valves. And let that run for another 10 minutes. All right. 116. Still waiting for it to drop down. May have to do a nitrogen purge here. Another one at least. Yep. Did I close it? Oh, I don't have a... I do have a depressor there. She may be a little too deep in there. All right, so right now I got some nitrogen. Let's lower that down to about 400 psi. Let's do a nitrogen purge through the system. So right now I have 400 psi of nitrogen going through my 3/4 that goes into my 7/8 to the evaporator and back here on the liquid line, being pushed out where my micron gauge was. It's going to push out any kind of moisture, non-condensables that just is having a hard time getting out of the system. And this is called a nitrogen purge. All right, we're vacuuming down again. It is 5 minutes to 1 here. Let's give that 20 minutes. I'm impatient. Yep, still need more time. All right, while the system is pumping down, I'm not a very patient person. We started pumping down a half hour ago. I already did 2 rounds of nitrogen purging. And right now we're at 113 microns. But I wanted to quickly speak about the ACiQ Extreme Plus heat pump systems. I love them. I think that for the features and the benefits that you get with this, there is no competition. And there's a size for everyone. We have systems for cooling between, and they do cooling and heating, but our cooling capacity from 24,000 to 55,000 BTUs. So you're going to get 2 tons all the way up to 5 tons of cooling. Heating capacity, 26,000 BTUs to 59,000 BTUs. A cooling range, outdoor ambient temperature, 5 degrees to 122 degrees. And heating, this will heat down to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit of outdoor ambient temperature. Negative 22 degrees. That's like almost 0 Kelvin. And on the high end of that, when it's 75 degrees out, it'll still put out heat. The system is whisper quiet when it's running. Max decibels of 63, I believe, maybe 65 decibels when it's running. You don't even know it's on. You know, I walk my dog around the neighborhood, and sometimes, you know, I take little detours, and then I go down blocks that I don't normally go down to. In the summertime, you hear these systems. They're so loud, and like, man, if my neighbor had a loud system lived next door to me, I'd probably cut their refrigeration lines. I probably would. And sabotage the system, because these systems are so loud, some of them. It's like hideous. Warranty, let's speak about that real quick. You get a 12-year compressor warranty and 7-year parts with online registration. Now, any system that my company installs, the Mikey pipes by ACiQ, it's coming with a 10-year extended parts warranty on top of the 7-year parts. You're getting 10-year parts and labor. Doesn't cover maintenance, which you have to do, but we include that on every system that we install. I get the warranties from JB Warranty. If you're in the trades, an HVAC contract, you have no idea what I'm talking about, reach out to me, Mike at MikeyPipes.com, or put a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be more than happy to send you information on how you can offer extended warranties to your clients on an install that you just did. Whether it's a water heater, a heat pump, a furnace, a boiler, even plumbing packages they have. JB Warranties, they're I think a AAA rated carrier, and they work with the trades. I can't speak highly enough of them. I have probably 100 policies out there, and only a couple times I had to put a claim in, but because we install quality and reliable and dependable equipment. We're at 91 microns. Not bad. Well, I did the Decay test. It didn't pass. So we're doing nitrogen purge again through the system. I got 400 PSI leaving my nitrogen tank, going through the 3/4 that goes into the 7/8, goes to the evaporator and back out there where my micron gauge was. I'm going to let this run for a few minutes. It's upsetting, but unfortunately, It's one of those things where it is what it is. Let's see if we can force out whatever is causing the leak here and make the problem go away. Because I need to have a nice, tight and dry system. My customers pay for quality, leaving no stone unturned, and I'll be damned if I cheat during the final parts of the startup and commissioning of a system. Not happening. All right, we're gonna vacuum down this one more time, and I'm gonna keep it real. It's gonna hold this time. Otherwise, I'm dumping the charge. No, I'm just joking, but this is the 4th nitrogen purge, and it holds a nitrogen test. So I don't know what gives. Maybe the micron gauge is wonky, but let's go see what Daniel and Peter did in the attic. All right, let's go see. Very nice. Wow, that transition piece for the supply plenum. Very, very nice.
And now the ductwork's like out of the way instead of on the floor.
Very nice. Yeah, they have that weird air cleaner.
Yeah.
I remember that. Look at that. Yeah, from 1950. What's nice is there's a skylight here. And a full OSHA approved plywood floor. Hey, look, it's Peter. Hi, Peter. How's your back?
My chest.
How's your chest?
I'm alive. Prior to vaping.
Oh, probably the doctor told you?
Oh, they don't know yet.
Oh. Okay, very nice. Very, very nice. Does the emergency drain pan switch get wired directly to the unit so it...
No.
Not this one?
No.
Or is that only the Senville?
You can do it, but I don't know. Because it's this weird... This is the one that's powered.
Oh, the float switch is powered.
Yeah, the... Whatever
It needs 24 volts because it needs to be smart.
So
And it should just be plain old dumb.
Because if it's breaking, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like...
Understood.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay. All right. Let's see where we're at with our battery. 33%. 283 microns. We've been vacuuming down this process for almost 50 minutes now. So let me start a decay test. All right, we're gonna isolate. I'm gonna start a decay test. I'm gonna close the 2 valves. And it failed again. Oh my God, this thing is so annoying. Where is my issue? I swear, this thing sometimes just acts up. Oh, why is that so loose? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh. By the way, you could open the service valves like a regular air conditioning condensing unit with a service wrench. After another hour and a half of vacuuming down and 2 more tanks of nitrogen, we finally passed the decay test. I'm sorry to get any of it on video. I'm just so frustrated because I'm just so frustrated. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. Hold on, Dan, you hear that?
Barely. This is like, it's crazy how quiet they are.
Yeah, you hear the little ticking in the background,
Yeah,
but otherwise you wouldn't know this thing's running.
it sounds like it's not even as loud as a bicycle.
Like a pedal bicycle?
Yeah, like when you
Yeah.
go, when you're
Oh
not-
yeah, when you're going, you're not really going?
Yeah,
Yeah, like a 10-speed bike.
it's like quieter than
Yeah. It's like a little frequency pitch I think we're hearing. But that's pretty awesome.
This is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you need to have the BTUs and you need surface area with a coil. And you still want to be a side discharge and not be a tremendous ugly looking box. But this thing is awesome. We're running. And I'm just going to full disclosure. Yeah, I cut my little 3/8 too short. So I beelined it. Just keeping it real. I beelined it. I show it like it is. I show mistakes. It's not all perfect. But this system is tits. I'm sorry. That's the only word for this. Look at this. Wow. That's nice. I'm a firm believer that if you're not testing, you're guessing. I have an outdoor ambient temperature of 53.4 degrees. Okay, let's let that sit there for a minute. I have a discharge temperature of 84 and climbing, 0.6 and climbing degrees. Okay, 87, 88. It feels nice in front of this, especially when it's 54 degrees here. Now, let's test our amp load. 8.6 amps. We're basically at 100%, ladies and gentlemen. And that unit is whisper quiet, running in cooling mode. You hear that? Yeah, do you hear that? The house next door is under construction. All right, so there's horrible noise, but listen. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Oh, damn construction workers. And by the way, did I mention the self-cleaning cycle? Every time the system runs and when it shuts down, the blower, the condenser fan motor runs in reverse. Keeps the condensing coil clean. That's epic. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area and you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor, I want you to pick up the phone and give me a call at 516-348-6300. Or save time, book online at pipedoc.net. And remember, every Friday, starting at 1 p.m. right here at 1010 Central Avenue, we have free Fridays where we have free hot dogs, free popcorn, free French fries, and free cotton candy. Come on down at 1010 Central Avenue in Woodmere, New York, and have a seat on the Your Wife is Hot bench. Because if she is hot, you better get the AC fixed. What are you waiting for? Call now!